Hello and thanks for joining me. It's a pretty cold day today here. I'm out and about in Newcastle upon Tyne and I'm on my Triumph 1200 Scrambler. So what I want to talk about today is why I love Triumph's modern Bonneville range. Modern retros seem to split the motorcycling community. People either love them or hate them. And whichever camp you fall into, you have to admit that it's a genre of bike that has grown massively in recent years. Haters call them fake, accuse them of being overweight and underpowered compared to other modern bikes. But despite those haters, who you have to admit, they have got some valid points, the overwhelming majority of riders seem to love them. And I do. So why have they become so popular? Well, there's a number of factors. Many riders, both older and younger, are coming to see that road conditions, things like heavy traffic and the proliferation of speed traps and speed cameras means that it's nigh on impossible to use the performance of a modern bike with 150 brake horsepower or more. And also I think many riders are just looking for something more relaxing to ride, and a bike that it's a pleasure to own and to look at as well as to ride. And you have to admit that the way our bikes make us feel is a very important part of motorcycle ownership. Now, modern bikes are generally simpler and therefore cheaper. And so that makes them ideal for newer riders. They're cheaper to buy and insure, and they're less powerful, which is safer for newer riders. But at the same time, they're also ideal for older riders who are stepping off the sports bikes. Many people my generation ridden sports bikes, and they just want to step down to something that's a little bit more sedate. Anyway, so of course there's a growing range of retro bikes available, and these include some excellent bikes, most notably those being produced by Royal Enfield. But I want to talk about the modern Triumph Bonneville range in particular, and why I love those bikes. I think that Triumph have created a wonderful, flexible platform with this Bonneville bike, on which to build a surprisingly wide range of different bikes that appeal to a wide range of riders. And that platform, which is obviously built around the engine, the 900cc and the 1200cc engines, it consists of some awesome style and heritage, with an excellent engine. It's excellent in terms of its looks, its sound, its low down torque, and its smooth power delivery. I have to say that I was less impressed with the earlier air-cooled incarnation of the modern Bonnevilles. I did test ride a couple of those, and I wasn't really impressed. But the bike has really come of age with the current generation of water-cooled models. For example, the new Speed Twin proves that retro bikes are not necessarily overweight and underpowered. And I can only believe that better things are going to come in the future. The current generation of Bonnevilles can only get better. Of course, the big appeal of the current Royal Enfield range is that those bikes are relatively simple and easy for home mechanics to maintain and service. However, I think it's likely to change in the future as Royal Enfield brings out new models. They will be more sophisticated with more electronics, more rider aids, rider modes, etc. I think that progression is inevitable. And Triumph are already there in that respect. With the Triumph Bonnevilles, you get a thoroughly modern bike with a lot of technology. I've ridden the Royal Enfield range and they're great bikes, but at the moment, they are taking this retro idea in a different direction to the modern Bonnevilles. I think Triumph are creating a retro out of modern bikes, whereas I think at the moment Royal Enfield are just simply trying to catch up, and so their bikes are just retro because they've not caught up with the other bikes yet. And I know some people prefer the Royal Enfields. If you watch Stuart Cunningham's excellent YouTube channel, you'll be aware that he built his channel initially as a Bonneville fan, But these days he's pretty much jumped ship from Triumph to Royal Enfield. Undeniably, the Royal Enfields are much cheaper, and arguably they're more authentic as retros. I say, just because it's not like they've thrown away technology, they've just not taken it on board yet. And so from that perspective, you can argue that modern Bonnevilles are more of a styling exercise rather than being genuine retros. And yeah, I think I would agree with that argument, but it's a style that works for me, and it's a style that works for many other people too. I've already made a few videos in which I compare classic bikes and modern retros and discuss the attractions of modern retros, so I won't go over that ground again here. However, as someone who owns both classic bikes and modern retros, I feel that there is definitely a place for these modern retros. There's a place for both styles of bike. And while I still maintain that I prefer my classic Bonneville, I've got a 1978 Bonneville T140, I love that, but I also love all of the conveniences of my modern Scrambler. So, hey, this is a perfect situation, being able to own both. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for riding along with me. If you enjoy my ramblings, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving this video a like. Hopefully see you next time. Ride safe. Bye.